A very good day, everyone. In this lecture, today we will discuss about cash book. We know that business transactions are numerous and it becomes very difficult to record all the transactions in one or single book of prime entry. That is known as journal book in accounting. For example, in a business, most of the transactions may relate to receipt and payment of cash, sale of goods and their purchase. It is very convenient to maintain a separate book for each such class of transactions. One to record cash transactions, another to record purchase of goods, and yet another to record sale of goods. This type of book is called Book of Original Entry or Prime Entry. This is a special form of journal, nothing but a subdivision of the journal. Journal entry is not passed for the transactions recorded in such books. They are directly posted to the ledger accounts. These books of original or prime entry are also known as special journal, or we commonly called as a subsidiary books, since ledger accounts are prepared from the transactions recorded in them and without this process of ledger posting. Now we move on to the meaning of cash book. Cash book is a book of prime entry. Prime entry means original entry in which cash and bank transactions are recorded in a chronological order. Chronological order means they will be recorded as the transaction occurs. Cash transactions in a firm are generally very large in number. So it is very convenient to maintain a separate book that is known as cash book. Cash book plays the role of both of subsidiary book and principal book. This statement is very important that cash book is both a subsidiary book and a principal book. Cash and bank transactions are recorded in the cash book on the basis of such record. Ledger accounts are prepared. Therefore, cash book is a subsidiary book. At the same time, cash book by itself is a cash account and bank account like other accounts. As the matter of fact, the balances are entered in the trial balance directly from these accounts. Therefore, cash book is a part of the ledger also. Hence, it is a principal book. So, cash book is both a subsidiary book and a principal book. Now we will move towards the feature of the cash book. Feature number 1. Only cash and bank transactions are recorded in the cash book. We should concentrate on these two words, that is cash and bank. Only cash and bank. No credit transactions are being recorded. Second, cash and bank receipts are recorded on the debit side, while cash and bank payments are recorded on the credit side. We should make a note: receipts on the debit side and payments on the credit side. Third, it records only one aspect of the transaction, that is cash. We know that in accounting, dual aspect is being followed, so every transaction must have at least two aspects. But in the cash book, we just record only one aspect, that is related to cash. Fourth, cash and bank transactions are recorded in the cash book in a chronological order, as we discussed earlier, in the order in which they take place. Last, it performs the function of both journal and ledger at the same time. Journal, the subsidiary book; ledger, the primary book. Now, kinds of cash book. There are majorly three types of cash book. First, simple cash book, that is also known as single column cash book. Second, double column or two column cash book. Third, petty cash book. Now, what is simple cash book or single column cash book? Simple cash book looks just like an account, as we can see in the slide. with one column on each side. On the left hand side, receipts of cash are recorded, and on the right hand side, payments are recorded. You can see in the slide, there are total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 columns that are 5 for debit side and 5 for credit side. The first column is for date, in which we will record the date on which the transaction is occurred. The second column is particulars. The name of the account under which cash has been received or paid is written. In an existing business, cash book starts with the opening balance of cash written on the receipt side, that is known as to balance BD. This is to balance BD. A new business will definitely not have an opening balance. The third column is for V number. Full form of this column is known as voucher number. The document supporting a transaction is called a voucher. There are generally two types of cash vouchers, the receipt voucher and the payment voucher. Generally, a voucher has a serial number which is written in this column. Your next column is LF. The full form for this column is ledger folio. In the column of LF, page number of the ledger where the amount is posted is written. Means we will write down the page number of the account that will be opened in the ledger on that page. Last column is for amount. The amount received are written on the debit side and the amount paid are written on the credit side. Our second category is two column cash book or double column cash book. It is just like single column cash book. The only difference is that here your amount column will be divided in two parts. The first is cash and the another is for bank. In the cash column we will enter all the transactions that are related to cash, and in the bank column we will enter the transactions related to checks, demand drafts, etc. that are related to the bank. Rest columns are same as we discussed earlier in the single column cash book. I hope these two types are clear to all. Now we will move towards the next slide, that is petty cash book. Petty cash book is a book which is used for the purpose of recording expenses involving small amounts. Besides petty expenses, receipts from main cash are recorded. Petty cash book is maintained by a cashier, that is known as petty cashier, and with petty cash, that is the amount taken from the major cashier, that is known as petty cash book. In this lecture we will focus on single column cash book and its practical aspect. In our next lecture we will discuss double column cash book, and in the next lecture we will discuss petty cash book. So we should move towards our numerical example. Let's take an illustration. There are some transactions that must be entered in the book. In 2017, in the January 1, Rima started business with cash with rupees 1 lakh. On the Jan 2, she opened a bank account and deposited in bank, that is 50,000. And there are many transactions that she did in the month of January. Okay. Now we have to prepare a cash book. The simple funda of preparing cash book is just divide cash book in two parts, and this is the debit side and that is the credit side. We have to keep in mind that in the debit side we have to record all the receipts. means whatever our business is receiving in the form of cash or bank, we have to debit on the debit side, and credit side is for payment or outflows from the business in the form of cash or bank. Generally, what we have learned, just first of all pass a journal entry, then post it. For example, Reema paid rupees 200 to Shyam. In the books of Reema, we will journalize it. Shyam account debit to cash rupees 200. This is the journal entry in the books of Reema. With the help of this entry, we can open two accounts in the books of Reema, that is ledger. The first is Shyam and the second is cash. Now, as per the rule of posting in the ledger, in the account of Shyam, we will post it as to cash. And in the cash book, we will post by Shyam. Is that clear to all? But if we are preparing cash book, we do not need to journalize the transaction again and again and just post it as per the posting rule of the ledger. Just keep in mind, this is receipt side and this is payment side. Reema paid rupees 200 to Shyam. Paid means payment side, that is credit side. So we will write over here by Shyam rupees 200 directly. Okay, now we will solve this question in this format. The format is of a single column cash book, that is, I hope it is clear to all. Okay, now we will start our solution. On January 1, Reema started business with cash rupees 1 lakh. In the date column, we will write January 1. In the particulars, we will start with the word to, showing this is a debit side, and we will write the name of the account. Reema started business with cash means she introduced capital in the business. So we will write to capital account. Suppose this is being done with the voucher number 5, and capital account is being opened in the ledger at page number 10 with the amount 1 lakh. Our next transaction were, she opened a bank account and deposited rupees 50,000 in the bank. That means we have deposited money in the bank. We have deposited money in the bank means we paid money to the bank. So we will journalize it. We will post it at the credit side of the cash book. That is, this transaction is being done on Jan 2 and we paid to the bank, so our account will be bank account. And amount is 50,000. In the practical question, generally voucher number and LF is not being given, so we will skip this column. Just prepare the pro forma. with the column voucher number and LF, but do not fill it because generally in the question it is missing. So just focus on the date, account number and the amount. That's it. Our next transaction is purchase goods for cash rupees 20,000, Jan 3. Purchase means we paid money, so Jan 3. Credit side by purchases account, with rupees 20,000. Next transaction, Jan 3, sold goods to Ram on credit. Sold goods to Ram on credit. In this transaction, what should be done? It is being debited or credited? Please read it carefully. Sold goods to Ram on credit. Yes, students, what should be done? Nothing, because sold goods to Ram on credit, and we studied earlier that cash book only. So it is clear that transaction held on Jan 3 was of credit sales. That is why will not be recorded over here, but will be recorded in the sales tail book. Our next transaction is on January 5. Rima received 3,000 rupees from Ram. She received money. Received means if she is receiving money, that means we have to mention it on the debit side because that is the receipt side. So on Jan 3, she received money from Ram. We will write down Ram's account in the particulars with rupees 3,000. Next transaction is on Jan 7, she paid rent for rupees 4,000. Paid rent means payment side. So on the credit side, Jan 7 by rent account with rupees 4,000. Next transaction, Jan 8, she sold goods for rupees 10,000. Again sales, nothing is given in the question, so we will assume this is a cash sales. Sales means receiving, so on the debit side, Jan 8, sales account with rupees 10,000. And our last transaction of the question is she withdrew cash from bank rupees 7,000. Withdrew cash means the cash is receiving by the organization. That means the inflow of cash, so that will be recorded on the debit side only. Jan 10 to bank account with rupees 7,000. Okay, now all the transactions of the month of January are over. So now we will balance the cash book to know what the balance we have at the end of the January month. So balancing will be done as per the rule that we have learned in the chapter journal. So nothing new. What we will do, we will just total the amount column of the debit side as well as credit side, and we'll see which side is more, and the balance will be written at the short side. But we know that cash book is generally having debit balance, mostly cash column. So we will just total it up. The total of amount column of debit side will be 1,20,000. It is clearly seen. First transaction is of 1 lakh rupees, next is 3,000, next is 10,000, and the last is 7,000. So total will be our 1,20,000. And total of credit side we can see is 50,000 plus 20,000 plus 4,000 is 74,000. So our debit side is exceeding the credit side. That means we are having clearly debit balance, and we will reduce the 74,000 from 1,20,000 to get the balance. And we know we will write the higher amount in both the columns of amount of debit side and credit side. 1,20,000 reduced by 74,000. What will be the answer, students? This will be the balance at the month of January end, and it will be written as by balance CD. CD means carried down. CD means carried down. So our balance CD will be 46,000 rupees. Okay, now we are having some important points that must be kept in mind by the students while understanding cash book. Point number 1, discount received, discount allowed, and cancellation of discount received or discount allowed in case of dishonor of check will be recorded through journal proper. We know that journal proper is nothing but a residual subsidiary book in which we just enter all the transactions which are left over and which cannot take place in other books like sales book, like purchase book, etc. Earlier, what was the practice? A discount received, discount allowed will be shown in the cash book as a separate column named as discount, and these columns will be just totaled up to get the value of discount received and allowed separately. We did not balance that, but now the practice is just pass these discount received, allowed, etc. through the journal proper but not through the cash book. Next very important point is cash book cannot have a credit balance. We know cash column in the cash book cannot show a credit balance, never ever, because cash payments can never exceed cash receipts. At best, it can show nil balance when total cash receipts are equal to total payments. Can you spend more money than what you have? No. That is why cash column will never show credit balance. It will be a debit balance or a nil balance. Okay. Now, bank column may have either debit or credit balance, means bank column may have both the balances. Bank column may have both the balances. Debit balance in bank column shows bank balance, while credit balance in bank column shows bank overdraft. But cash column will always either have a debit balance or nil balance. If a firm maintains cash book with bank column, there is no need to open cash and bank accounts in the ledger. So the credit balance of bank column is known as overdraft. Sometimes bank overdraft can be understood like it. A firm enjoys overdraft facility from a bank. It means the firm can overdraw from its bank up to the limit allowed by the bank. Amount withdrawn in excess of its own money in the bank is known as bank overdraft. A bank overdraft is shown as a credit balance, meaning hereby that the business has to pay the amount to the bank. Means bank is providing you the facility to withdraw more money than what you have in your account. Okay, this is the lecture for today. In the next lecture, we will understand practical questions of double column cash book. Thank you.